What's up, One Pride? This is Rachel Marie Sports. I am here with the DSA, and we are ready to talk some Lions football tonight. Let's get straight to it. I'll go ahead and announce tonight's panel. First, we have the man himself, Luke G. What's up, Luke?
Hey, salute everybody. Listen, I'm gonna try my best to be here and be present. I am still on the clock working people, as y'all know. I do this, and but we finna have us a little bit of fun. So get y'all popcorn ready. Make sure you get your extra butter, whatever your beverage is. Get that as well. We got a lot to talk about. Training camp is here, and football is just around the corner.
Absolutely. We are all excited. And then we have Andrew, one half of the Real Detroit Lions fans. How are you tonight, Andrew?
Hey, I'm doing fine. Ready to talk some football.
Awesome. And we have OMG, it's Lions Talk. How are you?
What's going on, Rachel? I feel good tonight, man. I'm ready to talk this Detroit football, man.
Awesome. We are all feeling it. And last but certainly not least, we have got 313 JMO. What's up, JMO?
What's good, everybody? Make sure you guys like the video. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Awesome. So we have some really good questions lined up for tonight. Let's just go ahead and hop right to it. JMO, can you help me out with a roll call for some of the people in the chat?
No problem, no problem. Let's see who we got in the chat. We got the other half of real Detroit Lions fans in the building. What's good, man? We got Peace and Quiet in the building. What up, though? We got General View in the building. What up, though? We got One Pride Nation and Jay Stone. What's good, man?
Awesome. All right. So let's hop into tonight's questions. This first question actually comes from a fellow DSA member, Seth Walker. And he asks, with preseason games being canceled, does anyone think that it will become a permanent thing to not have any preseason games, as some have been complaining about them for some time? And I'll go ahead and throw that to you first, JMO.
No, definitely not. I don't know how much money the preseason games generate, but the NFL is that greedy where they'll just want to have the games just for however much money that is. The only reason they're not having preseason games is because of what's going on with the pandemic. Otherwise, they're gonna be right back to it, and the players will be right back to complaining to it. They can try to make a stand, but they already added an extra NFL game. Now you think they're gonna take away the preseason games? No way. They're trying to get as much money and milk the cow as much as possible. And I hate to say, can't stand the NFL for it, but this is just the facts of the matter. I think the NFL they will fight so hard just to keep those preseason games around.
I definitely feel you on that. Milking the cow is probably the best expression for that too. But what do you think, OMG?
Yeah, I think they're gonna definitely cut the preseason down to maybe 2 games. I think that's what they're going for, and they were trying to test it out. And like Luke has said before, this Corona thing is just the right fix for them to test out that theory. And I believe with the extra game gain, they're going to deduct from the preseason. So I think there's going to be a shortened preseason, 3 games, 2 games, but it'll be shortened definitely.
I didn't even think about that with the addition of that extra game, so that's a pretty good point. What do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with JMO. I mean, you got to follow the money, and the preseason generates a lot of revenue. I wouldn't be surprised if they cut it down to like 2 or 3 games and maybe added another joint practice with another team during training camp and stuff, just so that they can get that feel for how their players are doing, their rookies are doing against different defenses, different offenses. But I could definitely see them going away towards the whole preseason thing and changing it up.
Okay. I mean, little change never hurt anybody. What do you think about this, Luke?
Y'all are crazy. Listen, y'all. I don't understand how people don't just look at how the NFL works. The NFL works based on production. If the money is there with the production, then you'll have just that. So what I see is 2 things that have to play into it. One, they already want to reduce it down to 2 games. That's just flat out. The players would prefer to just say F those games all the way around. But 2, if they come out and still perform at a high level with this makeshift offseason, they come out and still perform at a high level, knowing that not only do they not have preseason games, the NFL will drop those games. Why? Because they'll just sit there and be like, listen, we already added a game on for the playoff teams. That's 1. And 2, most of the teams wouldn't want to have it anyway. It gives the players more time to rest, which satisfies the NFL Players Association. And then 3, it creates the buzz that like, yo, when football starts, it starts. All we got to do is pay attention to the ratings and how they perform. If they perform well, the NFL is going to adjust. Everybody thought it was going to be crazy when the NFL added more teams to its roster. Everybody like, oh, 32 teams. It's crowded. It's not going to be good. Who's going to want to see this? Too much. Wrong. People wanted to see it. Oh, they added a game on Thursday. Nobody's going to watch a Thursday game. Wrong. People want to see it. So if the production is there, if the ratings are there, y'all can expect that this might be something where this could be the beginning of the end for preseason games. That's just my take on it.
Okay, and I mean, those are pretty valid points too, where I'm coming from. And actually, OMG made a good point. I think that more realistically, they may consider shortening the preseason long term. I mean, the coaching staff does use those preseason games to gauge what to do with their bubble players, and that kind of in-game action that they see during preseason is kind of hard to replicate in any other way during training camps. I mean, even in those joint practices. But I guess I could really see it going either way. You know, there's going to be a ton of fans out there that are going to get upset if their football doesn't start early because we go a long time without it. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to kind of see where they end up taking that. But let's go ahead into our second question. In the Lions' first padded practice on Monday, there was only one rookie to take reps with the starters, and that was Jonah Jackson. What are your thoughts on this and easing the other rookies into practicing with the reserves? I'll throw that to you first, Andrew.
Yeah, so in our roundtable last week, I totally called this. Everyone was given that rookie. And I said Jonah Jackson was going to be the guy because it's going to be easier for him to transition, and he's going to be very vital to us establishing a dominant run game.
Facts.
And I mean, I'm not surprised. The guy came from Ohio State. They had J.K. Dobbins. They're a very dominant run offense team. I think that it's going to be a little bit easier for him to win that starting role than for some of our other rookies, especially because everyone's really getting thrown into the mix, and like from what we've heard too with other things, but we'll get there. But I'm really excited, because I really wanted to make sure that, some of our rookies are getting thrown into the fire. And to me, that's how you learn. You need to go up against the best, and you need to learn, the chemistry with the guy standing next to you. And the only way to do that is to be put in that position and not be practicing with the 2s and 3s. So I was pretty happy about seeing that.
Absolutely. I mean, we'll have to see if this ends up as just a part of a guard rotation, but I'm definitely with you there. What do you think, JMO? Jonah Jackson taking reps with the starters, the only one for Monday practice.
What I think is he better be. I'm not playing. I've been talking about. I sound like a broken record at this point, but I only care about the O line. I'm more harder on the O lineman than I am on anybody else that we pick, because if I don't care what this team is, we don't fix the O-line, we not going nowhere. Wherever we want to go, we ain't going to go there. Every team that has any type of success in the NFL, not every team, but most of the teams, they got an offensive line built. And I've seen our team be better when our offensive line, our offensive line wasn't great back in 2016, but it was good enough for us to have 8 comeback wins. They was there too. So, protecting Stafford so he could throw the ball. So I'm happy about this. I feel like it's nobody really ahead of Jonah Jackson, or it's not that much competition for him and some of the other guys. With Okuda, you have Amani Warrior, with Swift, you have Kerryon Johnson. I don't even know where they're putting Okwara at this point. So, but I'm sure some guys that will see reps before him. And it's been a lot of turnover with these Patriot players and what's going on with the pandemic. I think some of those guys, Matt Patricia's going to want to see those guys first. And the rookies, I said we should lower expectations for all of the rookies because of what's going on. But Jonah Jackson is the one that has to be out there. Just like Andrew said, like, how are you going to, get chemistry with the starters if you're never actually playing with those guys? But I'm happy to see it. And them O-linemen from Ohio State sometimes are good. I had to say sometimes.
Yeah, we got to put some air quotes around that. I mean, Michigan fans trying to compliment these Ohio State players. I feel you.
Oh, he a lion now.
I know, and I said that to somebody on Twitter. I was like, "Hey, once they're a lion, and I support them from there. But if you got to talk about where they came from, it's we got to be gentle.
Yeah,
It's a
real
hard
gentle.
subject for us Michigan fans a lot of times. But what do you think about this? OMG, Jonah Jackson, the only one to take reps with the starters Monday.
Okay, I'm happy for Jonah Jackson. All right, I'm happy for Jonah Jackson. I think that's a move that we all expected, and we're glad that he's living up to that bid. We're glad that we actually have a dominant right side running the ball. I don't know so much about pass blocking, but Big V, Jonah Jackson, Ragnow, that's going to be a power running right side. So I'm happy about that. Where I'm mad at is where in the hell? Hey, Luke already know. Luke, you already know. Where in the hell is Jeff Okudah? Where is Okudah at? Now, I understand that you don't want to start him off with the first. I understand that. But it's a month until kickoff. This dude need to be on the first string. And why? Because he was a number over 3 overall pick. Okay, he was higher than Deion. So that means he don't start on third string. That means you go out there and you just like a quarterback. You go out there is prove it, just like y'all said, last week about the quarterbacks. You go out there and it's make or break. You got to prove it. Do it. Do you? And I'm mad that he ain't out there. Like that's so depressing when you think about us pass on Isaiah Simmons. And then we got a guy who's not even out there right now. That just that lights my fire. Luke, take it away.
It's not the end of the world to not be out there for one.
It is
for the start of practice. Like the sky is falling. Like the sky is not falling. Like
it's not.
The sky is not falling.
It is because there's only a month to the season. There's only a month to the season. There's no time for you to we're gonna slide a man at the last minute.
You know, cornerbacks have to be brought along slowly.
No, just so the quarterbacks, but they throw them out there though.
Yeah, but when you got guys like Amani and Warrior and Desmond Font, when you got guys like Amani and Warrior,
I don't care about Amani Warrior. He was taken higher than Deion freaking Sanders.
I don't care.
We're actually going to touch more on what you guys are talking about right now in a couple of questions. So I kind of want to keep that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. We have all got these opinions on Okudah. It is bound to happen. We are going to touch on that. I'm going to say my piece on Jonah Jackson, and I'm going to let Luke say his piece. We have plenty of time to debate that, you guys. We're going to get to it. For me, I think that a lot of the DSA members hit the nail on the head with this one when they were predicting our potential starting lineup for the offensive line. But I will say in post-practice interviews, Patricia cited Jackson's maturity and his extensive experience starting for both Rutgers and Ohio State. But he also didn't commit to him as a starter too heavily. Instead, he stated that it was, quote unquote, just Jackson's time up in the rotation with Wiggins and Abuji. So that makes me a little bit scared that this rotation is going to continue.
You said Wiggins and Abuji, I almost threw up.
Yep, those are the two names he used. So, I mean, we'll have to see how this progresses. If Jackson can, personally, I think that if he can tighten up on his hand placement, maybe work on some of the sloppy plays that had penalties at Ohio State throughout this training camp, then I think he has a legit shot. But obviously, hearing that Patricia is just saying that's his time up in the rotation with Wiggins and Abuji kind of gives off that vibe that they're going to stick with that rotation that we've all come to hate so much. But, I mean, what do you think, Luke? What's your opinion on all this?
First of all, I enjoy y'all little moment there, but first, let me get myself together because people gonna think I'm crazy with this. I love the idea, and the reason I love the idea is because this is another thing that shows me growth in our head coach. This is the exact thing that a head coach should do for the exact reasons that was pointed out by every member on here. OMG pointed out he was taken higher than Deion Sanders. You don't think Okudah knows that? You don't think he understands that he's the third overall pick and that pressure is going to be on him? So what is the head coach job to, to doing this. It's the coach. And what he's doing is he's taking some of that pressure away. Let me get you in here, ease you in here, so that way I don't lose your confidence. I don't kill your confidence. So from that standpoint, bravo to Matt Patricia for understanding that. I took him third overall. That don't mean I got to toss him to the wolves. Now, the fan in us is saying, damn, Nat, you took him third overall over people we know could have came in and started immediately, tossed his ass to the wolves, the piranhas, the sharks, and everything else in between. But the head coach job is to make sure that he not only prepares the player, but preserve his confidence and preserves his spirit. And by doing this, it will make him better. He's getting his reps to go against higher and lesser people, but good for him for doing it on that part. And the other part in terms of Jonah Jackson, beautiful. Put him in the starting lineup, because what you're going to do is this. You're going to say it's your spot to lose. Now, we know that the pressure level is different for a guy taken in the fourth round, but still, he's letting them know up front, hey, you show me some things, and it looks like he's getting some dividends on that. When it comes to the other players, he's easing them in slowly. So the approach of it, while I can see the standpoint from every person on the panel, I also look at it and I say, no, this is more about the head coach actually showing some improvements as a damn head coach, because he could have simply said, put him out there and let Marvin Jones and Kenny Galladay work him out all day, every day until his feet is bleeding. He's easing them in. He wants him to understand that you got to earn your spot and preserving it. So for that, kudos to Matt Patricia. And kudos to him for saying, let me give Jonah Jackson some more attention, because the truth is he really didn't have nobody else to put there. Let's be honest. Who in the hell is he going to put there?
When did you guys ever think on this show that Luke would say like 3 times in a row, kudos to Matt Patricia?
I'm just saying. Listen.
But he's right on this one, though. And I do feel, it was disrespectful to draft a cornerback after what Amani showed. But if Amani is balling or playing well enough and I like bringing on cornerback slow. I've always stated that. I know he was drafted third overall, so I want to see him playing in the first game too. But look, Kenny Galladay and Marvin Jones. Like, I hear people say Tre'Davious White, the best cornerback in the league. Go check what Kenny Galladay did to him. So he does that to a lot of people, and we could have a Okudah get cooked by them all day and all night, lose his confidence, and then turn the Bears receivers into ghosts, or we can bring him along slower and build him up and put him out there, because he's definitely going to be with the first string. But starting off, like we've talked about how good our secondary is. So, I understand it. We got some competition.
And where else to do it other than practice? See, I'm just pointing out that, to me, I'm always going to stick to the facts as I see them. And to me, if I can bash a coach for doing bad, I have to be able to praise him when he do something good. And his ability right now to show these different improvements as a head coach are very much impressive. And I'm like, okay, cool. If he can take that and somehow corral it to get these people behind him, I'm all for it. But that would be like right now taking me and throwing me out there against Randy Moss. That ain't fair. What is that going to do for my confidence? Man. What is that going to do for my confidence? So my thing is this. All the little things he working out on, and, he has to learn how to be more.
Hey, we did not put Slay on Megatron,
Man, hell no.
Hold on. I got to give y'all some pushback.
Okay, come in with the pushback.
So Slay was drafted well after Okudah was in his draft, right?
And he still was drafted pretty high, though.
Yeah, so he was going against Calvin early. And real early, and he literally came out
first time though.
Look, he came out and he was like, "Yo, it was a huge hit to my confidence," But he literally said like that's what made him better. I mean, he was literally going against a top 3 receiver of all time, and that's what
did it make him better. I don't know. Because in his rookie season, he was pretty bad.
I was just going to say, if that makes him better, then his rookie season tells you bullshit. Okay,
right?
Because he did not produce. His confidence was shot, and he had to figure out how to get smart in this game. So a lot of times, like I don't know, like if you just look at it from a term of video games, when I first started playing video games, I put it on easy. I had to learn the buttons and stuff and figure this stuff out. Once I knew the buttons, I started upping my challenge because now I want to see how good I am. So to me, this is a video game standpoint for me where he's saying, okay, Jackson, I'm going to toss you in here. Now, the scary part about it is this. In the case of Jackson, you know, the news about him has been good. And the only issue with that is you know, the D tackles ain't going to really challenge him. But you want to see if he's going to bow down to him. In the case of Okudah, he's got the 3rd overall pick weight on his shoulder. We traded Darius Slay on his shoulder. The head coach is in the GM is on a prove it year on his shoulder. That's a lot of damn pressure. So he's coaching.
Yeah, but I also think that Jonah is the one person that we picked this year that has to be good immediately. Like, we love Swift, but we got Kerryon Johnson. We love Okudah, but we have DBs. Maybe that's why we shouldn't have taken him.
I'm not going there. J-Mo. I'm gonna disagree.
I don't know, man. We need Jonah has to be great.
Jonah, but he ain't the only one though. He ain't the only one.
No, I'm saying like he's the first one, like first in line. Like we have to invest in you to do something.
He
have other DBs.
I mean,
we got other running backs that are pretty good.
Go ahead, OMG.
I feel like Jonah Jackson is a 1B. Like, he is one of the most important rookies. You could arguably say he is the most important rookie that has to perform right. I will agree with J-Mo on that. But Okudah got to be in there by the 2nd week. Like, because, I mean, it's good to bring him along slow. And I understand what y'all saying, but we only got 1 month to the season. And if a Warrior beat out Okudah, then what does that say about the Lions again in they draft and taking?
So you just don't care that
hold on, J-Mo. Hold on. Let him finish. Go ahead.
Taking like you do not take, and I'm sorry, J-Mo, but you do not take a tight end and a cornerback in the 1st round of the draft when you're trying to build your team. I'm just saying, when you're trying to build your team as a GM and a coach, and you like, we need to win now. Let's go get a tight end and a cornerback. Like, come on, man. I know people in high school who wouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, but OMG, we ain't talking about where you draft a player. We don't have that debate. That's over and done with. We ain't talking about that. We're talking about if they sit up there and throw Okudah out there against Kenny Galladay and Kenny Galladay don't get a catch on him, everybody be singing his praises. And could that help his confidence? Yes, it could. But the reality is, and I hate to do this to a lot of people because they finna be mad as hell when I say this. Kenny Galladay and Marvin Jones aren't route running tacticians. He got to go against some route running tacticians, some Devontae Adams, some Allen Robinsons, some Adam Thielens. He got to go against some route running tacticians, not these people who going to be jump ball 50-50 guys. That's not what he going to get. So my thing is this. You breathe him in slow because the worst thing you can do is give somebody false hope. It's one of the reasons why I say if I dunk on my son, I'm not the world's greatest dunker. He's 4. I should be able to dunk on him. So to me, you don't want to. He's coaching. I'm going to praise people when they do stuff right. And Matt Patricia is coaching from the standpoint that he's doing it in a way that allows for this man to build his confidence.
So there's a major flaw there. There's a major flaw there. Okay. So at this rate, when is Okudah going to be playing then? At what point in the season is he going to play if he takes
But you know he's playing.
I've said since we drafted Okudah, I've always said that Amani was going to be that guy. I don't have a problem with Amani starting.
But
I mean,
that's not the point, though. The point is
what Andrew is asking is this. This is what Andrew is asking. We gotta stick to the topic, people. Andrew is simply asking a real simple question. At what point do we put Okudah ass out there? Is somebody eating a bag of chips for real on the mic? Is that what we're doing? But what he's asking us is simply put, when are we going to put him out there? We got a month. They got a lot of goddamn practices between now and then. And on top of that, listen, he's going to be put out there. They're not, if they don't start him, that's suicide. They're not stupid.
So Luke, that is my point exactly. So you're going to be starting him some point in the season, and he's not going to be ready because he's been practicing with the twos. He's been practicing with the threes.
How many days has training camp been going on?
But that's not my point. If they continue this route, like you're saying, it's so smart. He's going to be getting put up against Devontae Adams, Allen Robinson, Adam Thielen.
We assume.
Right, but
they're not
and,
going to continue doing that though.
To your point as well, Andrew. I mean, we really are like I get what you're saying. The continuation of this will inevitably be a downfall. But at the end of the day, it is just speculation off of 2 days of practice. I wouldn't be surprised if reports come out tomorrow like, oh, now we saw Okuda out there with the starters. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised at all.
All right.
I agree. I'm just saying it's a little concerning because you saw Cameron Dantzler. Cameron Dantzler wasn't even their first cornerback taken in the draft, and they had him guarding Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson. And why are we not doing that? You know?
So who were the other DBs on that team?
That's not the point, though. He wasn't even their first cornerback taken, and he's guarding their ones day one.
That's because there's nobody else to do it.
Yeah, but listen, you got to understand something, okay? Y'all got to understand something. I get that you're ready for him to get in there, but as Gold Lion says, it's only been 2 goddamn days in past. What is wrong with easing him into it? And I understand that you're like, well, he got to get ready. He got to get ready. Well, let him get ready. Let him get ready to where he gets a unbelievable amount of confidence, and then he can learn how to adjust and do certain things. My thing is this: if you just have him covering Marvin Jones or Kenny Galladay all day long, then my thing is what is he going to learn about the different routes? These guys are 50-50 jump ball. They got a pretty decent route tree, but it's limited. And so if you're talking about just a division, those are route running tacticians. So what they doing is they're putting them in route running tacticians. Now, me, everybody know I've been on record to say that you have to start them. You have to start them, third overall. But I'm also on a record to saying that if he don't start, he certainly can't be getting beat by the 2s and the 3s. And it sounds like what they want to do is preserve him by having him go against the 2s and the 3s. Excuse me, by having him go against the 2s and the 3s of other teams and letting Desmond Trufant take on the top guy. I disagree with that approach, but I can't disagree with it overall because that's coaching. I don't want to destroy a player before it's too soon. We've all seen players get tossed out there in ways and have the weight of the world put on them, and they crumble. Go and look at Ryan Leaf. He was touted to be the next great Dan Marino. Like this dude had the world on his shoulder. He crumbled. Ricky Williams, a whole draft.
All right, let's move on, y'all. We've been talking.
Yeah, we'll segue this talking about, the coaching leadership into our next question, which is that Jeff Schwartz tweeted out that he was fined and put into a weight loss program for being 1 pound overweight at the weigh-in at the end of OTAs. Travis Swanson retweeted this saying that his favorite thing about the Bob Quinn regime is that you know exactly what is asked of you. It's not the number that they were mad about. It's the idea that you didn't deliver on what was expected. What are your thoughts on this? Is this fair? Is this unfair? And how does that make you feel about how Quinn runs the show? I'm going to go ahead and take this first. I personally feel that this is extremely fair. I mean, hell, in MMA and boxing, you got to make your weight. No excuses. So what's the excuse here? And my initial question seeing this tweet was, what is Jeff Schwartz's point? If they didn't stick to their guns and start letting even the smallest thing slide, then what does that say about them? If it is accurately communicated to players what is expected of them, then by all means, I'm for them enforcing it that. This is your job, dude. This actually makes me feel good about Quinn being at the helm. It shows me that he's somebody to take seriously. And personally, I just feel like good on him. But what do you think, Andrew?
I am 100% on the same page as you. For me, I mean, if you're going to just be like, yeah, okay, you're 1 pound over, we're not going to fine you, then you're going back on your word. You're going back on that principle. To me, I compare it to like, okay, if you have an interview at 8 a.m. and you show up at 7:59, that just looks bad. I mean, that looks bad. You show up at 8:01, that looks bad. You need to come prepared. So if you know you have to be at 250 pounds or whatever it is, then be at 245 so you don't have to worry about that. Don't show up at 251 or whatever. To me, it just, you had an expectation. They expect you to come to camp at a certain weight. Do it. That's your job. Your job is literally to be in shape and perform and play some football. Go to practice, study, all those things. So if you're not doing it and you're not listening to the people that literally write your paycheck, then you're going to get fined. I mean, it's as simple as that to me.
Yeah, and I appreciated that Travis Swanson kind of took up for that mentality. What do you think about that whole thing, Luke?
I mean, listen, people, who can be upset at accountability? Seriously, who can be upset at accountability? It's only 1 pound. What if it's only 1 inch? What if that 1 inch was a bullet going past your damn head? There has to be a level of accountability. I don't care what it is. Now, and this is nothing new. This ain't nothing that, when the teams are doing. A lot of teams do this accountability stuff. The Lions have had accountability in the past when it came among certain players, but then they had a point where they was like lax about it because it was like, it's the Lions. That's how they was feeling. That's how the players were feeling. But to me, this don't say nothing more than, okay, so everybody should be on the same page, right? So everybody should be held accountable. Benny Blaze was talking about this, talking about, hey, that culture is built through the players, right? This is what Benny Blaze is saying. That the culture is built through the players. Well, my attitude to it is this. If that's where the culture is built at, and it all comes from the accountability of player to player, great, brilliant. If you disagree with that, then shame on you. I love Andrew's example because when I grew up, I was always taught, if you on time, you late. If you early, you on time. That's what I was taught. So to me, I'm not going to gun nobody down because, they talking about accountability. Accountability should be talked about. I think there's a level of accountability, but to me, hit me up when that accountability happens in the season. Right now, everybody trying to earn a little money in their paycheck, want to be a captain. Some people want to try to prove themselves. I'm a tough guy. Yeah, all I drink is beet juice. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But the reality is that accountability won't matter to me until I see it on Sundays. Mondays.
Absolutely. It's definitely got to transfer over with these guys into the regular season. JMO, what do you think about this whole thing? Jeff Schwartz getting fined and put on a weight loss program for being 1 pound overweight at the end of OTAs. And Travis Swanson appreciating the Bob Quinn regime for being that intense about holding him accountable.
Thank you, Travis Swanson. I needed this, man, because I mean, at some point, I feel like even if I was, 100% on the Patricia bandwagon, at some point you like, how much are y'all gonna pile on this man before I start to lose faith? And the fact that Travis Swanson, he kept it a buck. He was like, yo, like, you didn't do what was required of you, and that's one thing that this regime has always put out. And like I said, I love this energy from Travis Swanson, and it's good to hear something about Bob Quinn from that perspective. But I just love this energy, and I just don't know. It's just like, I feel like players are just too comfortable talking about the Lions now that Matt Patricia is the head coach. And I just don't like how everybody from every corner of the earth got to chirp and say something. And sometimes our players need to put them in a place where they belong. You didn't do what was required of you. That's why they fined you. It's simple as that. It's cut and dry.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to see on the back end. I mean, especially because, last season with all the talk swirling surrounding the locker room and all that kind of stuff, I think we talked about multiple times. It would have been nice to see someone come out and maybe defend the organization or what was going on or give a different perspective.
And not a Patricia boy, not a Danny Amendola or
Yeah.
Trey Flower. Like, this Travis Swanson, a person that we know is not really. I don't want to say he shouldn't be invested in Bob Quinn, but like, he was only there for like a year or two, and Bob Quinn had just got there. Like, so it wasn't like he was one of Bob Quinn's guys. He was just there and he did his job or whatever. So,
I mean, to me, it's like I said, I love this movie. This movie gets me pumped. It's Remember the Titans. You drop a ball, you run a mile. Okay, you don't play hard, you run a mile. You think you're going to miss your assignment to blow past a person? You will run a mile until you puke, and then you're going to run a mile again for puking on my field. That's accountability. That's what it is. And anything in between that would be a total shitstorm for anybody to be like, man, it's 1 pound. Okay. That's 1 pound. What if it was that 1 yard that we said in the chat right now?
Yeah, that comment got me. And Real had to say too soon. Talk to Carry On about 1 yard last year in the Kansas
I'm
City
just
game.
saying, it's just 1 yard, right? Or how about it was just 8 seconds? That was a rule, or it wasn't a catch per the rule. It's just a rule. Come on,
Yeah,
people. It's
we've been hit by
accountability.
that. We've been hit by that many, many times. I mean, what do you think about this, OMG?
Hey, I'm on board with y'all, man. I salute it 100%. It's like Luke said, it's accountability, man. That you gotta. There's certain things that you have to do, and this is your job. This is how you make money. This is how you put food on the table for your family and support, your loved ones and stuff like that, man. So you have to take it with that seriousness. And you basically meeting a deadline or something like that, that's just part of work. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing like, I don't think anybody should be really against it. Man, this is work. This is their job. And you have to take it with seriousness. I mean, just like a boxer. Somebody said just like a boxer earlier. If the weight limit is 147 and you come in at 148, you getting fined and you fighting that fight not for that championship. You know what I'm saying? You train 6 to 8 weeks for a championship. You come in overweight, you're not fighting for the championship no more. So, that's what it is, man. It's accountability.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to take a second to acknowledge this comment Motown Football just posted. Has anybody heard about Carry On not participating in any drills? I'm seeing this in the chat and it's new to me.
He got his ass lit up. I heard he got his ass lit up by Jalen Reeves-Maybin. That's what happened. He took a nice hit from Jalen Reeves-Maybin, and so as a maintenance day, they kind of cap him out. The reports were Jalen Reeves-Maybin laid a nice ass hit on him.
Hey man, I don't know if that's true or not, but that actually makes me. I love that. Like, I need to hear more of that. I need to hear more right there.
You want to see them fight in that camp, But
I love that kind of energy, man. But I think he's be all right. But
as long as he's on his feet for the regular season, then I'm down. I'm down to hear that kind of news too. But his knees be making me nervous with his knees. You got to be careful out there.
Yeah.
But anyways, you guys, John Macaroon of SI All Lions, who's joined us here on the round table, came out with an article today titled, Jeff Okudah is losing early training battles at practice. I'm going to say, as an aside, that had me shook immediately. I'm like, what? But then the article goes on to say that he lost both, indicating 2 battles to fellow rookie Quintez Cephas, even slipping like he did trying to cover Kenny Golladay on Monday. How concerned are you to hear about this? And I know you guys are all going to want to say something about this, so make sure that you're giving each other the chance to talk. Let's go ahead and start with you, Luke.
People, let's see my mic on. It's working. Okay, people, do not read into this. These are part of the growing pains. Okay, these are part of the growing pains. And this is one of the reasons why you're going to hear OMG say you don't take a cornerback 3rd overall. This is what the learning curve is a high learning curve. But the reality is this: him losing camp battles now, I'm not fazed by it, because part of me is like, oh, I want to hear good things. Like, everybody want to hear good things with the 3rd overall pick. Unlike with Sue, I was at those camps when we got Sue. They had open camps. I was at every single one of them. It wasn't a bad piece of news coming out at all. I was watching him do stuff, and I'm like, that's not even normal. So with this guy, I expect to hear this kind of information. And where else better to hear it than that it happened in practice? I don't give a care where it happened. Let all that if they want to tell me that he was skip in practice, and I'll be happy with just that. But as long as it stay in practice, I'm cool. But he's going to lose camp battles, people. He's supposed to lose camp battles. If he came in not losing camp battles, that it will be a lie. Every cornerback who's come in lost camp battles. Every rookie who come in lose camp battles. Okay? It happens. But as long as it stays in practice, I'm good.
Absolutely. I mean, practice is the place for those types of mistakes, for sure. I'm with you on that. JMO, what do you think about Okudah losing some camp battles these first 2 days?
Well, I would be more concerned if I was hearing stuff like I'm trying to think of the Danny Amendola out here cooking Okuda. Then I'd be like, yo, what's going on? But Quintez Cephas, who I've been very high on since we drafted him, and Kenny Galladay. Okay, I couldn't understand. And with Kenny Galladay, well, both of those receivers actually. Now that I think about it, those are receivers that they win contested catches, but it sounded like against Kenny G, he just slipped. So I don't know if you want to, Kenny G made him slip or he slipped. I'm not gonna read into that like that. But yeah, I need him to be getting tortured out there. I want him to be getting cooked because I actually think very highly of our receiving core and even the guys like Agnew and Cephas, and Huntley, the guys that's on the bottom. But I like it. I want to hear more about him getting cooked because that lets me know he'll be prepared. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not going to be an easy road coming into the future. So we're gonna have to hear these things. But I'm not taking a couple of days of training camp. I'm not gonna read too much into this either way.
Breaking news, really quick. I'm sorry to jump in. Breaking
Yeah,
news:
go for it.
Detroit Lions lose rookie defensive lineman Jason Cornell for the season to an Achilles tendon injury today. So FYI.
I saw that he had gone down, and
no.
Patricia had said it was, quote, pretty severe. So I didn't know what was gonna come of that.
They just announced that he is officially out for the season with a torn Achilles.
Wow.
Good people, let me just tell y'all what I don't want to happen after this. I don't want to hear the names Gerald McCoy come up. If any person come in here and say, go up there and get Gerald McCoy, I am going to
Gerald McCoy tore his Achilles too.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So before somebody come and say, go get Gerald McCoy, y'all need to think before y'all say that. I'm just saying. So just heads up, Detroit Lions rookie Jason Cornell out for the season with torn Achilles tendon. All right, back to you, Rachel.
All right. So yeah, I'm agreeing with you, JMO. I'm like throw him to the fire, but I'll just go ahead and elaborate on my answer. I'm gonna lay it out there. I'm just not really concerned about it. I think it's early. I think if on day 2 of my new job I didn't get it perfect, I wouldn't expect to be fired for it. I do 100% agree that he needs to develop because I fully expect him to be able to be a starter. Like we've discussed this in previous roundtables as well. We're all on that page. Yes, he has got to be potentially a day 1 starter. I mean, for me, definitely a day 1 starter. But we've also talked about even in his first few games in the NFL, he might get burned. But then he knows exactly what he needs to do to improve to his competition. And we've talked about how he's a smart kid. So I think he'll be able to do it. I'm not worried about him being physically capable in the long run. But what did Benny Blades say? He'd give him 7 games?
7.
Right?
7 games.
Then let's give him that. Let's give him that
Right.
and not get overly concerned after 2 days of training camp. I mean, that's just where my mindset is at with this. But I mean, where's yours, OMG?
I mean, okay, if you get burned in the beginning, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody, there is a learning curve, even if you're a big time rookie. But the only thing that kind of concerns me is ain't nobody saying nothing positive about him. Besides, he how he upholds himself and stuff like that. But ain't nobody praising none of his skills. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing that's getting to me. Ain't nobody said nothing about, man, he fast, his reaction time, he can jump. Ain't nobody said none of that. Ain't nobody said nothing. All they saying is, man, he got burnt. Like, man, look. And then, man, and the thing is, too, Quintez Cephas is a 5th round pick, okay? So
I'm high on him.
So I mean, he's a good receiver. He's gonna make the team and stuff like that. But you telling me that you couldn't get the best of the 5th round pick, like the 5th round pick? So the 5th round pick out here stunting on you.
I mean, to be
Is that
fair,
what you mean to tell me?
to be fair to that 5th round pick, Okuda did already say that he was the hardest receiver he had to cover his entire college career.
He covered him
Right.
4 times in that game.
I don't care. That's what he said, and then it turned out to be true. So
Listen, in sports,
hey, I
he
don't care how
listen.
many times he covered the guy. The fact is, that's what he said, and it turned out to be true. The proof
Well,
is in the
listen, hold on,
results.
but how the hell is it still true? You supposed to, you don't play the national
I
championship.
mean,
games.
there was no rookie minicamp. See, I feel like we're hearing about stuff that we would have heard about a rookie minicamp, and now since there's no rookie minicamp,
That's a good point,
listen,
J-Mo.
listen. If it was a rookie minicamp, then he still got his ass cooked by a rookie. What you mean? Quinn Cephas ain't no veteran. You acting like Quinn Cephas been in the league for 14 years. That's another rookie that cooked him.
I was just going off the point that Rachel made about Quintez Cephas being one of the toughest people that he had to cover. I mean,
all I'm saying is this: I get the point that OMG making. I get it. You know, I get what he's saying. He like, can I get some good news that maybe he's showing some good tactician skills? But again, this is why I praise Matt Patricia on this, because again, he's forcing him to go against route running tacticians. And if you go to Quentin Cephas, ain't nobody going to accuse Quentin Cephas of being a speedster. That's a fucking route runner possession.
He's a route runner. Yeah.
So good for him to put him up against him. That's coaching. Just saying.
Absolutely. I have to laugh because Seth was very funny to have on the show last week, and he said, to quote Kurt Angle, "Oh, it's true. It's damn true."
It's damn true. It's damn true.
We know where everybody's head's at except for yours, Andrew. What do you think about this?
Man, I'm on the same page as OMG. For me, so I actually am like, I'm not too worried in the sense of, you know, it is early, but it is also concerning because for me, regardless of where you're taking in the first round, you were my first round pick. I expect you to come in and be a starter day one. Like, that's the reason why these guys are mocked and scouted to be first round picks, because they're the most NFL ready. And to me, to see him getting beat by Cephas, Galladay, I don't care if you fell, whatever, nothing positive came out. You know, and that's concerning as of right now. And I emphasize as of right now because obviously we still have, you know, a couple weeks before week one. But like, show me something positive, dude. You were the first cornerback taken off the board. Everyone said you were the closest thing to frickin' just the best, you know, cornerback prospect in years, you know, and to come out and you can't guard a Galladay, you can't guard a Cephas. I get it. Cephas is a rookie, and he said, you know, he was the hardest guy he had to cover in college. But also, Cephas is not fast. Cephas is not that tall. Cephas is good at route running, but he's not that fast. So you should be able to be running with him step for step. And to not be able to do that against a couple guys, that's concerning. Because to me, I'm going to scout that as a defensive coordinator on another team and be like, we're going to throw our possession receivers at this guy and make him try and win.
Good, Andrew.
And make him try and win. Because to me,
Andrew,
hold up. So to me, I'm going to attack the shit out of that. You know, and like I said, it's early. And I do like this kid because he's very meticulous with his film study and he wants to be better and get better. But as of right now, I don't like it that nothing positive is coming out. You see stuff with frickin' Chase Young. Chase Young's literally throwing bodies on the practice field right now. He's literally throwing grown-ass men to the floor. I don't see Okudah doing anything remotely like that to get his name out there. And it's a little concerning, you know.
Okay,
hold on, J-Mo. Make sure y'all hit that like button, people. We got 38 people in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button, get those likes up for us. We appreciate it. And make sure if you have not subscribed to Rachel's channel, please do so. And subscribe to all the members of the DSA. Now, let me challenge Andrew for a minute.
I'm going to challenge him after you, too.
Yeah. I'm going to tag you in, Rachel. I'm going to tag you in. Get ready.
All of you in turn. All of us in turn.
I got you. Get ready. Here we go.
Rapid fire, baby.
If you are arguing that, he's getting beat by a person who is not a speedster, who's a route running tactician, and you just look at the division with most of those receivers not being speedsters, but route running tacticians, what is the problem? It's 2 days of damn practice.
No. Hold up. Look, Cephas is not that great of a route runner. He's a good route runner, but he made a lot of contested catches, and that's what he was known for.
Yeah, I disagree.
Oh my God, watch his film. If you watch his film,
I'll watch his film.
He has the craziest
great
catches that you're like, okay, like what the hell? Yeah, he knows how to get into open space, but like it's not like he's a freaking Tyreek Hill where he's getting 5 yards of space because of his speed, or a Keenan Allen where he's just shaking bodies. He's not like that. And if he was, he would have been drafted way higher. Okay,
that's not
so
true.
You're telling me Cephas is the best route runner on our team?
Players all the time.
Sorry.
No.
I don't know what you're saying. Hold up.
If you just go through and you just look at the route running ability of Quinn Cephas, that's exactly how he gets open. He runs the hell out of the routes. And yes, he makes contested catches, but most of those catches that he's made, he's got space because he runs good routes.
Okay, so hold up, Luke. So are you telling me that he's the best route runner on our team?
Yes.
After Danny Amendola, yes.
Thank you, J-Mo. After Danny Amendola, okay?
Yeah, but we ain't hearing about Danny Amendola.
Danny Amendola, we all sit there and say Danny Amendola is the best route runner, but let's be honest. Okay, let's be honest.
Well, Luke, put it like this: Danny Amendola in his prime.
Right, in his prime. We got
get there no more.
That's like
running the route is just gonna take longer.
Right. Okay, that's like saying old man Logan is the better Wolverine. What the hell, man? Listen, Wolverine.
Yeah, hold on.
Young Wolverine was a monster. All I'm saying is this: Quinn Cephas poses a dilemma that, in my opinion, is the same dilemma that he's going to be faced with in this division. And if you go through and you look at the receivers we got to play on this thing, I get what y'all both are saying, that we're not getting any positive news. But damn it, it's 48 hours, not even 48 hours.
Hey, that's why I said emphasis on it's early.
Listen,
okay,
I gotta throw this at you, Andrew. All right. This means about as much to me as the first news that I've seen of Slay out of Philadelphia, and that was him getting straight burnt by Deshaun Jackson. That's about how much this means to me within 48 hours. And that's what I'm going to compare it to, because I'm like, that is the only thing I've seen out of Philly's start to training camp, and that is Slay getting absolutely destroyed by Jackson. And then having to defend himself for that.
But
right. No, I feel you.
I'll help you out, man. First off, Deshaun Jackson gonna burn anybody. Deshaun Jackson is pure
we got
speed.
excuses now.
No, Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun Jackson not one of the fastest receivers in the NFL.
Hold on.
Deshaun Jackson not fast enough to burn Darius Slay. Darius Slay done kept up with the fastest players in the league.
He is 33 years old and hasn't played a full season since 200013. I don't want to hear about Deshaun Jackson.
I mean, he might not have played a full season.
We watched this man cover Julio Jones, bro. Like, come on, bro.
Right.
That's Darius Slay. No excuses. I didn't know about that, Rachel. That's not good, bro. Like, I would not be happy as an Eagle fan. Like,
but Deshaun Jackson is a burner, though. Deshaun Jackson is a burner. Quintez Cephas ain't no burner.
I don't care about him being a burner.
Ain't beating
Darius Slay
nobody.
is a fast cornerback. He's
Yes, he is. I agree with you.
All right, so hold up. So Seth said, why did Quinn take Okudah knowing we like to run man? And this is my point exactly. If you're running
he was saying that in reference to me and talking about what is his speed like. And I said it's not fast. He ran in the 4.5. They like 4.5 receive cornerbacks. If you run a 4.5, they like those type of cornerbacks. I think his slowest time was like a 4.6 or something like that. But he's not very fast. He wasn't fast when he played in college. We know he's not a burner, but he's supposed to be the best fundamentally sound cornerback. That's what he's supposed to be.
So let me ask you something. If you're not that fast, why are we picking him to be in our man-heavy defensive scheme? Because you need fast cornerbacks in those schemes.
Because football is not just played with speed. You think Jerry Rice was beating everybody because he was faster than them? Hell no. You think? Tell me this.
You mean Mr. Stickum?
Listen, tell me this. Hold on.
Did you just try to disrespect Jerry Rice?
Who is Larry Fitzgerald?
I heard that.
Chill out.
Who is Larry Fitzgerald faster? Like, seriously, like this is a game that's played with technique.
Yeah, people but that's wide receivers, baby. I'm talking about cornerbacks. Cornerbacks have to be fast.
No, they don't.
Name me a slow cornerback that's good in man coverage.
Charles Tillman.
Oh,
next.
Dude, oh my God.
Next. Let me give you another one.
Charles Tillman was good at punching the ball out. As far as his coverage ability, he was good. But he was not great by any means.
Are you serious?
Dude, hell yeah. Go look at it. What do you mean?
Richard Sherman?
Richard Sherman's slow and he's not good at man. He is a coverage cornerback.
He's a zone corner, yeah.
Yeah, like
Richard Sherman in his prime followed the receiver. What are you talking about?
Bro. Oh my God.
Hold on.
Come on, man.
Y'all are killing me right now.
Yeah,
Now you
man.
killing
Richard
me,
Sherman
bro.
is a
Like,
cover 3 corner.
Dude, literally, what
feel-
are you talking about? And he had Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor behind him. He played zone.
We ain't talking about.
primarily.
Listen, we not talking about who behind nobody. We talking about. Okay, listen. We'll take Richard Sherman and throw him out the door, right? We'll throw him out the door. We can throw him out the door. How fast do you think these quote unquote man coverage corners are running? Like 4.5?
4.4s.
Oh, so a small fraction from a 4.4 to a 4.5. Woo!
That's a lot in the NFL.
Luke,
That's
what
a
are you
lot
talking,
in
bro?
NFL.
Don't even start with that, bro. There's a reason why they force people for having a 4.5 compared to a 4.6. Type
speed
40.
does not equate to anything on players. Everybody in NFL ain't fast. Glover Quinn wasn't fast. He was smart.
He's
He
a
was
safety.
technician.
It's different. He is a safety.
Here.
You keep bringing
Andrew, if you watch the
up
NFL,
every
hold
single
on,
position
hold on.
besides
Hey,
the
hold
one
on.
we're talking about.
Everybody go in turn. Andrew,
Yeah.
say what you're gonna say.
So Luke, you keep bringing up wide receivers. You keep bringing up safeties. Bro, we're talking about the cornerback position. Throw some facts about the cornerback position. I don't care about safeties. They're not playing man. I don't care about wide receivers. They're not on defense. So give me something about the cornerbacks.
Well, I can, man. But I was gonna say that everyone knows that cornerbacks have proven in this league that you don't have to be fast. Some of the best cornerbacks in the league aren't the fastest cornerbacks in the league. Like, I don't know where you get that from.
Name
Josh Norman was in his prime. He ran
my God. Did you really just bring up Mr. One-Hit Wonder when they had Luke Kuechly and Julius Peppers?
You telling me to name somebody and then you trying to hate on who I name? I'm giving you people.
Every single one.
Come on.
So why did he only have 1.5 good years? Why was he not good when he went to
the
Washington?
Redskins.
So what?
What do you mean they suck?
So if you're running man, what's the problem? That's you and one guy, bro.
The Redskins had a different defense than the Panthers did.
Okay, so give me a guy that fits the man coverage system. That's a slower cornerback that's successful. You guys haven't named one yet. You guys are naming people that either had one good year.
I'm naming cornerbacks that don't, bro. Cornerbacks do not have to be fast.
Has had successful man coverage years. Chris Harris has had successful man coverage years.
What are you talking about? When do cornerbacks have to be like 4-3?
What's that dude? Mark Roby, whatever his name is, Robbie.
Bradley
Roby.
Yeah, I mean, there have been a host of them. Are you this can't be for real?
Right? Y'all are mad tripping right now.
No, you're tripping, man. You're talking about the same.
You're talking about the same defense that had DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller freaking rushing the
Every time
cornerback.
we name you a cornerback, I hear some excuse.
I do too.
Man coverage, baby. Man coverage,
bro.
Hey, hang on, guys.
I can say the same thing about Slate. Oh, he's just good because he played with our D line. I can say the same thing about Tre'Davious White. He played with the Bills. That's why he's good. Stop it.
Ghost Gunner provided a good example of a corner running a 4.5 that's great in man coverage in Tre'Davious White.
Hey, 4.47. 4.47.
I mean, I'm not gonna admit that. I'm not gonna pick at it that much.
Patrick Peterson, 4.34. Patrick Peterson's one of the best man coverage cornerbacks there is.
There you go, right there. See, right there. Andrew,
but what about Tre'Davious White?
That's flat out.
Why are you ignoring that?
Go and watch Patrick Peterson in man coverage against.
Hold up. Overall, yeah, he's slowed down. He's been playing in the league for how many freaking years?
I ain't talking about overall. I'm talking
about I wasn't hearing that when you talk about Josh Norman. No,
that was 1 year. Patrick Peterson. Oh my God,
he slowed down.
Patrick Peterson will literally be going down as one of the best cornerbacks ever. Josh Norman is not going to be even in that question.
Tre'Davious White is a top 5 cornerback right now.
Okay, and he's not running in the 4.5.
What do you mean? Like Okudah, he ran a 4.48. What are you talking about? Tre'Davious ran a 4.47. He ran a 4.47. Okudah ran a 4.48. What are you talking about?
Oh my!
And all right,
I have a feeling we could stay on this question for literally the rest of the round table. I mean, here Truth Teller posts a comment that is actually in favor of Andrew's side. Jalen Ramsey, 4.4. Marshawn Lattimore, 4.3. Ward, 4.3. Charles Woodson, 4.4. Deion Sanders, all the top 10 DBs, 4.4 and below. I mean,
yeah.
I'm just looking at the new presentation of information and taking it in is all. I'm not
saying, but I was choosing Tre'Davious White is better than both of Lattimore and Ramsey right now. So Tre'Davious is better than both of them right now. He runs a 4.47.
Hey, the common theme is, man, you run fast, you're a cornerback, and then you have
but that's not the only thing. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
the
You
only
have
thing. We've seen cornerbacks run the similar things to Okuda and be great in man coverage. Like it's not something that's impossible. You don't have to have speed. You have to be good at the end of the day.
Well, guys, is correct in his comment. Wow, I opened up a can of worms. I just wanted to know how fast Akuda is. Well, Seth, the answer to
Yeah.
that question is Akuda ran a 4.48, and we're gonna move on.
Right. Right.
We're going to go on to our next question. We actually talk about another one of our corners in this one. Tim Twentyman reports that at Tuesday's practice, Jamal Agnew burned Amani Oruwariye down the seam in a one-on-one drill. He says he's quickly showing you that he's most likely the fastest guy on the team. And this is a two-part question. Is this what you expected with this changeover to wide receiver for Agnew? And how does hearing that make you feel about our corners, having already talked about Akuda's battle losses? Let's focus less on Akuda's battle losses in this question, guys. We're just going to
Right.
answer objectively how we feel about having talked about that. And I'm going to go ahead and start with you, OMG.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy that Agnew is fitting in, and the thing is that when you go from offense to defense, sometimes you lose a step because you're thinking, and he's not. He's either thinking about it or he's gotten past that initial hump, and I'm just glad that man he's burning people, man. I mean, that just gives me excitement to know that we are gonna have a deep threat with speed. You know, we got Hall, who's a 4-3 guy. We got Agnew, who's a 4-3 guy. That's gonna open up so many different things on offense. That's gonna pull safeties out of the box. That's gonna make corners, back a little bit. That's going to bring up things that makes the running game more effective. So I'm just happy about that. And I'm happy that he's making a transition and he's fitting in. And I'm not worried about Warrior getting burnt because Agnew runs a 4-3. So if he knows the route like down pack, he's about to blow by anybody on the team. So I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, I definitely hear you on that. What do you think, JMO?
What I tell y'all, man? Put some respect on J-Mo's name. All hail J-Mo, the predictor. I said Agnew need to be on offense since his rookie year. It's documented. I said he need to be on offense since his rookie season. And I told y'all, I always hear every year Agnew's not going to make the team, and he always make the team. And he's going to make it this year again at wide receiver. And to be honest, I love this because we really don't know, speed is speed, but we don't know how a guy's going to transition. But maybe he did go work with Golden Tate, and Golden Tate got him right. And if Agnew becomes a receiver, it's a wrap. Like like a good one with that speed. Stafford's never had a Deshaun Jackson like that before, and a Tyreek Hill. We know Tyreek is out of this world, but I'm loving this. It's not good for Amani Oruwariye though, but it's not good at all. But you letting a guy who just transitioned to a wide receiver go out there and deal with you. But we've seen Agnew deal with everybody, just for lack of a better term. So I love to hear this, and I believe he's gonna make the team. I love it, man.
I'm with you. I think I've probably said it too many times on these table discussions with you, JMO, but I've always been an Agnew
Right, we've been
fan.
ourselves on this.
Yeah, and I've pulled for Agnew to prove himself through the doubt and find success. Upon hearing this news and following his move to wide receiver, I thought his breakaway speed was what was going to help him. Like, this guy is fast. And hell yeah, I was hoping he'd prove he was the fastest guy out there. I want him to make the opposing corners work to keep up with him. Now, we got to have some speed in our corners, though. I don't think Aruwariye's 40 time was actually pretty fast, was it not? Does anybody remember what that was?
No, he ran like a 4.46, like right around what a Kuda ran.
Okay. I mean, but this, I think of it the same thing, potential starting corner in our rotation getting burned at camp in the first 48 hours. I mean, it is what it is. These guys aren't you. Okay. These guys aren't used to Agnew as a receiver either. Like, we'll see if he's still burning them at the end of camp. He probably will be because he's just that fast, and that's an awesome sign moving forward. I'm not going to jump to say I think it's a bad sign for Amani or anything like that. but it reminded me of that. I don't know if it was an Allstate or a Geico commercial. That you got to be quicker than that with the guy with the dollar, just kind of on the fishing pole, teasing him. I'm like, yeah, that's Agnew, and the guy looking for the dollar was Aruarie in this instance. So I was honestly happy to hear this news. What about you, Andrew? What do you think? Agnew over to wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, it's really exciting. I've been saying we need wide receivers that can create separation. And with his return ability, if he gets into open space with that ability on top of his speed, that's going to be a deadly combination, especially downfield. It's a little, not necessarily concerning, but it makes you beg the question, who are going to be those last two wide receivers after Amendola? Because you drafted Cephas, you have Agnew, you have Marvin Hall. It's going to be interesting to see that fourth and fifth spot and, see what they do there. But it is exciting. I hope that he definitely stays on the team because he has a lot of potential.
Yeah, absolutely. JMO and I have been seeing that potential for years, but what do you think, Luke? Agnew's over at wide receiver and he's already burning some people in practice. And does that make you feel a certain way about Amani Aruarie?
Let me clear my throat for this. We're talking about practice, not a game, but practice. People, no. Okay, Agnew is not making a team at receiver. People, no. Okay, and we forget that in that same report they say he bounced right back and knocked a bunch of passes away. You're going to give up a play here and there. It happens, but it ain't like Agnew ran this sick route. He ran a nice little seam route and got a pass. Woohoo! I mean, let's stop with this noise. I wish him all the best, but I don't see how he's going to be on this team. Which brings me to my next point.
Just like you ain't see him making the team last year, man. He's going to be on this team, bro.
I didn't say that last year.
My fault. He's going to be a wide receiver this year.
That was not me. Last year I argued that he was going to still be on the team.
Just like the comments say, he's going to be a wide receiver. I'm going to be like, I told you, Luke.
Listen. Here's why he's not going to be a receiver on this team, and I make it clear that's unless somebody gets hurt. If somebody gets hurt, he'll be a receiver on his team. He's
going to beat out everybody.
Who you replacing then? Who you replacing?
Amendola, Cephas, and Agnew. Everybody else is gone.
Wow, that's the receiving core for you.
After Galladay and Marvin Jones and Amendola. Yeah.
So hold on. So Geronimo Allison,
he opted out.
He opted out. Okay.
Geronimo Allison opted out.
I forget. Listen, this coronavirus. I forgot they're doing that opt out crap. So he did opt out.
Marvin Hall.
So you
they just cut Chris Lacey. Thank you, and some other guys.
Right. Travis Fulgham gone.
Right, Fulgham is gone. So it's literally Marvin Hall. He's not beating out Agnew. He's not beating out Agnew.
Marvin Hall.
I'll tell you that right now. He's not beating out Agnew. I'll tell you that right now.
I think they're gonna keep 6.
I don't know. I mean, I would like them to keep 6 because Danny Amendola don't stay healthy.
Hold on. If they keep 6 receivers, how many quarterbacks they keeping? 2 or 3?
Dude, Blau should not be on the team, but that's a different topic.
No. The other guys should be on. Daniel shouldn't be on the team.
Neither of them should be on the team, but that's also a different topic.
Blau should be on the team.
Let me get back on track for a second. If they keeping 6 receivers, we all agree that they obviously T.J. Hawkinson staying, Jesse James is staying, Isaac Nada is staying. I think Hunter Bryant stays. So that's 4 freaking tight ends.
Yeah.
They're not keeping those 6 receivers, bruh.
I mean,
no, they keep it 5. It is going to be Agnew and Cephas.
Okay, listen, I see it.
Place your bets, folks.
I know, right?
We
should do that. But here's my other issue, though. If Agnew keeps this up, again, we talk about practice, not a game, practice. If Agnew keeps this up, why in the hell did we pay $6 million to Danny Amendola?
I think we
let's stay
paid
on
the
topic.
Well, I mean, to be fair to answer that question, I think they paid the $6 million to Danny Amendola before Agnew moving to wide receiver was just a tiny egg in the back of their brain. You know, it wasn't anywhere near it didn't come to fruition. It hadn't anywhere near hatched. I think they had already gone and paid that $6 million for Amendola before they even hatched the egg that was the thought of moving Jamal Agnew.
No, listen. I think you're right, Rachel. But here's my problem. You paid $6 million for an Asian receiver in a draft full of receivers. Why?
Hey, I can't justify that. I answered the other question.
Like, why? It's in the
Because
draft
he's an expatriate.
Look, everybody got a receiver this year. It was like Oprah's up there handing out receivers. You get a receiver. You get a receiver. They got footage of the receiver that over in the Bears. I can't think of his name. From UCF, whatever his damn name is. They got a picture of him over there balling out. This was a year for receivers, and we gave $6 million to Danny Amendola.
Hey, but Luke, we're just glad the Packers ain't get one.
Facts.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, Green Bay wasn't smart enough. They didn't get the memo, Luke.
OMG, that was a very good answer to that question. So I think that's a perfect time to move on to our next one. I'm really excited about this question. I think you guys probably are too. With the addition of Jamie Collins and Reggie Ragland, that has given the Lions some flexibility and versatility among their linebacker group, reports Tim Twentyman. Early on in camp, Christian Jones, and I'm, just sorry to say the name, guys, has been playing a lot more of a jack linebacker on the line of scrimmage role than we've normally seen from him. Ragland has played there too, and it's allowed Collins to play some inside linebacker and to move around to different positions. Veteran Miles Killebrew is even getting some run with the first unit Tuesday and some of their skeleton periods. What are you guys' thought on these role rotations with the linebackers? And I'm going to throw it to Luke first because we know you love your linebackers.
All right, this is like a happy, sad thing for me because on one end, I'm happy because if you're putting Christian Jones at DN, that means he's fighting for a spot. Praise the Lord. Again, more praise to Matt Patricia for coaching. I can't take your limited role and think that you can be here. I think you're a good person. But if it comes out of my family eating yours, then you can find another spot, or you can live up to some type of bill for me. So good in that regard. But then I'm sad because I figured they were going to put Jamie Collins inside and move Chavaya around and play with Julian Accor with some motion. Which leads me to my next point. Why in the hell we didn't take an outside linebacker and Isaiah Simmons?
I knew you were going to say that somewhere in your answer.
You can play around with this. You can just play around with it. Why not? Why stop yourself and limit yourself? Like, I don't understand this. And to me, if you're going to put this guy and have him, Reggie Ragland was playing jack linebacker at some point. Like, he wants them to know all parts of the team, but I think more so for Christian, his time is really limited. So I just don't understand the concept of playing this type of experimental game at this point. But overall, I'm happy to see that he's forcing them to say, you better step it up or get off this team. So I'm cool with that. But I'm not cool with the idea that if you're going to do that and not take a linebacker, knowing that our linebacker core is hot garbage, like there was no good reports about a linebacker, Elijah Lee, when it came out. Not one. All day long, you heard it was bad for him. You'd have thought he walked past a black cat. So my thing is if we are going to play this game like this, you should have just took the goddamn linebacker.
I hear you.
Not make sense.
I knew that was going to be somewhere in your answer. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the question now over to JMO. JMO, what are your thoughts on these linebacker role rotations they're seeing so far at training camp?
Wait, so what are the rotations?
So basically, Tim Twentyman reported that with the addition of Collins and Ragland early on in camp, they've seen Christian Jones playing a lot more of a jack linebacker on the line of scrimmage role, more than we've normally seen. Ragland's playing there too, and it's allowed Collins to play some inside linebacker and move around to different positions. They even said veteran Miles Killebrew was out there getting some runs with the first unit in some skeleton periods.
So I'm guessing. I know it's just early in camp, so we like what's his name? Okwara and Bryant. They ain't seen no time there. Like
Car spent time.
I was about to say I was about to go.
But
Aquara was out there.
People,
Yeah,
Aquara was out there, but a lot of people are shocked that Brian was not.
Okay, yeah, I'm still about to go off. Why in the hell is Christian Jones on the? This is family show. Is Christian Jones? Is Christian Jones on the D line? Really? Oh my gosh! And then we got not Hunter Bryant, but Austin Bryant not on the D line. Like I said, if we're gonna use Christian Jones on the D line, thank you, because he's horrible everywhere else. I don't know if he'll ever be good there either, but he's horrible everywhere else for sure. Please get this man off this team. But I actually don't like that. I don't like what Christian Jones is doing, but Okwara, I'm not gonna overreact. But why do we have this carousel of like players at these positions? Or we're running rotations. Why can't we just have starters that can start? You know what I'm saying? And that's my problem. Where's Jared Davis in all of this?
I'm with you there. I just think that the linebacker core has been so abysmal that they're like, okay, who wants it? You know what I mean? Like, who wants to step up? But I can't be sure. What do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that go through my head. The first one being is they like guys to be versatile, and we had so many injuries last year that they want to know which guys they can plug in at different positions if need be. Another thing is, if you guys really look at it, there's a huge open battle for our linebacker core, and that's depth, that's starting position, that's everything. So for them, they're going to try everyone at every position to see where you excel, what you excel at, and are you going to be on the team? Because for me, when you look at all the players, a lot of these guys, like, they could easily make the team or they could easily get cut. Miles Kilbrew, they've been trying to find a spot for him for a couple years, and he excels in the box, so they kind of converted him to a little bit of that linebacker safety type hybrid. And then you have people like Reggie Ragland, you have people like Christian Jones, who you just gave a contract. You have Davis still, you have Tavai, you have Collins, you just freaking drafted Julian Okwara. There's a lot of linebackers, and you obviously are not going to keep 8, 9, 10 linebackers on the team. And that's what we have right now. And some of the guys we traded for, some of them we already had on contract, some of them we extended, we drafted. So they really need to look and evaluate everyone at every position. So I like that they're doing that, especially because Ragland and Jones, we don't really know what kind of role they have planned for them. And personally, I really like that they put them on the line because they do need a more limited role. And even that, I don't know if they're going to excel at that. I don't.
Outside linebacker, but Christian Jones needs to stay anywhere from any type of routes. Just tell him run straight, Christian.
J-Mo,
don't look around. Get him with a stunt.
He needs to stay away from the team. That's what he needs to say. Okay.
Yeah,
especially because
stay away from routes.
Right, and we drafted Okwara to be that jack linebacker role. That's where he excelled at Notre Dame. So I just think it's them trying to see where we can put people and just if you can play multiple positions, because the linebacker core, quote unquote, is deep in terms of what we did. It's not talented per se, but it's really deep. So they want to see, and weed out the people that we're going to have to cut, because we're going to have to trim that roster pretty soon.
I mean, let's be honest. If they cut Reggie Ragland, how long you think he gonna sit on free agency market? I say a pretty good minute.
Nah, he's gonna get signed, dude. Just because of the potential aspect alone, the fact that he was drafted high, I guarantee you someone.
I don't even do drugs, but this damn team is going to be thinking that we want to smoke a blunt. This is ridiculous. There's no way that if they cut Reggie Ragland, he's not getting picked up. Like, whoop, let me swoop in there and get him up. It's not happening. That's not happening with Reggie Ragland. That's like saying Tavon Wilson, when he got cut, he's gonna get picked up quick. It took that man months. They literally went through 3 or 4 phases of free agency before he got picked up by the coach.
Who's going to sign him? The Patriots. The Patriots will sign him because they had eight players go on the COVID list in terms of opting out on top of injuries. Their defense is
the Patriots could have signed him before we did, and he still didn't go there.
Hey, things have changed, my man.
That is true.
They honestly have, though. Like, before, when we actually did sign him, the opting out thing was not even a thing yet, So I mean, they don't have Dante Hightower. They don't have a lot of linebackers right now, man. So they took a huge hit on the defensive side of the ball.
Fair enough. I
agree.
Our linebacker core is trash. I'm just gonna call a spade a spade. Outside of Jared Davis, Tavai. I can't even say Collins because Collins outside of New England. I don't know who I'm getting yet. So I gotta wait to see who I get. Which one I'm gonna get.
Well,
go ahead, Rachel.
That's where I think this kind of sounds great in theory, and I'm just hoping that it is in practice, because this gives them the ability to really assess where everyone's best fit is. I mean, maybe if we all hope really hard, maybe they'll even move Davis to an outside linebacker role that we've all kind of wanted to see him in. But I think this is most exciting for me when it comes to Jamie Collins, maybe opposite of what you're feeling, Luke, because, I mean, I'm reading up on him, and recently ESPN compiled a list of their top 10 linebackers in the league, and Collins was ranked number 8. But one of the anonymous voters actually ranked him as high as number 2. And he said he can cover running backs. He's a good blitzer. He can line up at the edge and rush off the ball, that he's very instinctive, has good football intelligence, and makes plays. Where another said there's no one like him if you use him to attack the underneath stuff and at the line of scrimmage like Bill Belichick did, then he's easily top 5. So to hear that they're already allowing him with these role rotations to play inside some sounds really good to me and excites me a bit, because apparently that's what he's really good at.
Well, listen, I'm not going to kill you, but I am going to kind of make a push and a plea to those companies to drug test those guys. Okay, number 2 and 5 and 8. The hell with that. Stop playing. No. And Bill Belichick, everybody number 2, 5, and 8. I'm just being honest. He's not there. So we got to find out who he's going to be.
And I was just about to say, Collins being outside of New England, he's only been one place, and that was Cleveland. And they had a different defense and system and philosophy. He's going into
they were still 3-4,
but it was not the same philosophy. It's just
listen. But this is my point. It ain't the same philosophy here. That's not the same philosophy that they got over in New England. You was not going to tell me that the defense that we had the last 2 seasons is the same
way that New England did. They didn't use him the same way New England did, and I think Matt Patricia being coached like we got to act like Trey Flowers and Danny Amendola didn't come here and do exactly what they've been doing their entire career with the Patriots. And I think the same thing is going to happen with a guy like Collins, guys like Deron Harmon. These guys are going to come in and be the same players that they were. Because Trey Flowers, after him getting healthy to do, was the guy we thought he was supposed to be. And I think, just like what Rachel said, what we already seeing Collins in the inside where he's supposed to be, that bodes well.
Yeah.
I mean, we can hope so. And go ahead with what you want to say, OMG, about this whole row rotation for the linebackers.
Okay, I know y'all gonna kill me. All right, I know. All right.
Name, bro.
Listen.
J-Mod got you.
Look, Christian Jones playing that Jack role. It gives me happiness because that means he's not playing off the ball linebacker. But it does let me know that hey, he's strength. That's the only thing Christian Jones is. He's strong, right? So they're putting him on the D-line to be strong. Now, he's probably not going to start over Julian Okwara, but he's going to be a rotational guy. You know what I'm saying? He can play D-line. He can't really tackle in open space because he's slow as hell. But, you know what I'm saying? But you can put him in D-line and let him anchor. I mean, he does have some lateral quickness. Y'all acting like he ain't got nothing of nothing. Like, he just should be in NFL. But he does have some lateral quickness. So him playing on the D-line is good in my eyes. And Jamie Collins, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that's me throwing that bullshit in the garbage. That's trash. I can't.
See y'all on a bandwagon right now. Y'all are like Christian Jones can't do nothing. Like if you say Christian Jones, everybody like, listen, it's not like, man, you can't do that to a player, man. Be like, everything you do is garbage just because of your name. Like, it's not. It's a good move by
the best
Patricia.
On the team is the D line than anywhere else because that's the only place where he can't cover any routes. I was dead serious.
Right. I agree. But I'm not talking about you, J-Mo. I'm talking about like It's the feeling, because what you said was right, and I agree that's the only place where Christian Jones should be. And what do you expect out of that Jack linebacker role but to set the edge and to go after the quarterback? Like that's the only thing that you have to do at that Jack linebacker role. So that's the perfect position for him. I like the fact that Patricia is putting people where they will excel at. You know what I'm saying? Put them in the best position to succeed. And I'm just happy that he's doing that he's allowing everybody to move around, and he's letting Collins kind of be the man, kind of be like, okay, you're on the inside, you'll do this, you'll kind of slide outside sometime, but you're going to stay inside, and everybody else is moving around you. I like that because that shows that Patricia is sweating right now. Okay, that means he's trying to get this together, and he's sweating right now, and I like it.
You know
Okay.
what? You know what? Did nobody give me the heads up that I needed to have me a shot glass and some rolling papers today? Nobody told me this. Okay, listen, people. Let's be honest. Okay, to play any form of the D line, any form, whether it's D end, D tackle, 3 technique, 5 technique, 0 technique, whatever it is, you have to have this thing called moves. When have y'all ever seen this man do any type of pass rush move? What is his pass rush move?
Like, he just there. Like, he might not even make the spot.
Who is he standing up for the linebacker to scrape on the run? Listen, sometimes you experiment with things because you want to know what it's like. And then there are some people who are smart enough to not need to experiment because they saw the experiment you did and said, whoa, you effed yourself up. I'm saying that he got to go. Okay?
Well, yeah.
He got to go.
I got a question then, Luke. What about the depth on the team at that Jack linebacker role? So we only gonna have like Okora, Bryant, and maybe Davis. You know what I'm saying? It's like
we're not gonna say Bryant. We're not gonna say Davis.
So we got Okora. So it's like, come on, man, we need depth. That's the same thing that always happens at Lions every year. We like. Hold on. We like, okay, our starting lineup is good. Okay, well, when that dude get hurt, who we got to go in for him?
If that dude is Christian Jones, we're 0-8 without Stafford. Like, that's what we are. So if your depth Jack D-line linebacker is Christian damn Jones, you in a world of hurt.
Listen, let me answer this question with the best answer possible. I thought we was a multi-defensive front. So if he's not there and we get hurt, we are multi-defensive front. I don't care who you put. You don't put him there. You might as well take that money and go out. You could have went if you were going to do all this and play this game. You could have went out and got Everett Griffin. If you're going to do all this unnecessary crap, go out and make a trade for somebody. But don't sit there and tell me that he's your best answer. He's our answer for depth. We can't. I'm not accepting this crap this year, people. All these excuses, I'm not accepting.
How? He was a starter last year. So if he just go into a depth role,
he ain't that better? Have been a starter.
But he was a starter. He's been a starter on the Lions for the last couple years. So
that
if he's not reduced, I understand that. But if he's reduced to a depth role, ain't that moving in the right direction?
Not at D-line.
Like, what? But the only thing he's ever been is big and strong. He ain't never had nothing else.
He's ever been as a linebacker. Now you want to move him to D-line and try to milk something else out of his contract. Man, if you don't get this man off this damn team, bro, not at D-line.
Man, it's okay. I'm just saying now. So if he was starting at linebacker, how would you feel?
Just as bad as I feel about
right. We're not saying that we want him stuck at. We're saying that don't put him at linebacker, don't put him at DN, put him out. That's what we're saying. We're saying evict him.
I know what you're saying, man, but I'm saying at least we put him in a one place where he can actually do something. He can't do nothing at linebacker. We all know that. Off the ball, you're not doing nothing. You're too slow. But you put him on the D line. He's 6'3", 255. Let him do something then. I mean,
but
he can help set the
I
edge.
get you, OMG, but I feel like we gave lesser players the same type of roles, and then they were not on the team eventually. You know, well, he can't do much. Let's just throw
I ain't
him
gonna
on
kill
special
you.
teams because he can give us a
I ain't
spark.
gonna kill him.
Like,
I ain't
yeah,
gonna kill
be
him.
on the squad.
I ain't gonna kill him.
I
I'm just
understand what
gonna
you're
sit
saying.
back. I'm just gonna sit back and when they crack that egg and put it in that hot frying pan and say, "This is your brain on drugs," I'm gonna come right back to this recording and say, "Remember when you scrambled your head trying to think of a way to feel okay about Christian Jones?" That just happened.
But I didn't say he should be a starter. I said he could be a rotational guy.
Don't
like
rotate
not even
him.
a second.
Rotate
Keep
him out
him
the
on
building.
rotational. We need depth. We need depth.
Rotate him out
That's
the
the one thing.
building.
Okay, that's the one thing that y'all don't understand is we have no depth at linebacker. You can't cut Christian Jones if you don't have nobody to replace him with. We have our linebacking core is suspect as hell right now.
So let me ask you something, OMG. So
yeah.
I'm only curious. So besides Tavai, Davis, and Collins, which are their obvious three, we have Reggie Ragland, we have Miles Killebrew, we have Jalen Reeves Maven.
No, you didn't say Miles Killebrew. Okay, keep going.
They love that man. That guy will be on the team 100%.
Miles Killebrew, no, he's been a special teamer since 1985. Look, you can't listen. I'm just saying though, Christian Jones will not be a starter next year. Okay, we all should be happy that he's not going to be a starter. But what we all should be happy is that he's not going to be a linebacker playing that much either. If they're trying him on defensive line, then let him be a rotational person on the D line. Get something out of him. He's 6'3", 255, and he's strong as hell. So let him play. Let him set the edge. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's all I'm saying.
You know why he's strong, right?
You know why
he's strong? He's strong because even his girlfriend put him out. We got to follow suit.
This man said it, even his girlfriend.
Chill out.
I know you be having nice quotes, Luke. Luke, you be having good quotes, man. But I'm just saying, man. Well, if you want to use a guy for what he's good at, and he moves in the DN, that's a Belichick thing. Belichick would move him to DN. Don't let that man play linebacker.
Okay.
No. Belichick would be like, he can't play linebacker. Put him at defensive end.
But hold on, let me answer this. Why okay. Why are we gonna play this game with Christian Jones and we can go out and get, I don't know, maybe say Marcus Golden? I don't know.
Yeah.
A guy who's done it.
Because for the same reason that I said we should get Golden and you said we shouldn't, because they're gonna require a second-round draft pick. That's the tender they put on him. The Giants put a second-round draft pick tender on him.
Oh,
that's the reason why.
Well, he got to sit there then.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm saying, and you know the coronavirus, can't nobody get nothing, or players ain't coming off the coronavirus. So Christian Jones playing that spot is the best thing that can happen. Okay, that's the best thing that can happen. Him not playing is not an option. Him not playing is not an option. We don't have no depth.
No, this man should. I'm tired of people defending garbage players. He's garbage. He shouldn't be on the roster. He cannot help us win football games. It's no depth. He can't help us anywhere on this team. He is a horrible football player.
Hey, so we got to reduce the roster pretty soon, so we're gonna see. I think we should go to the next question.
Exactly, we will figure it out. And nobody mentioned Kenny. You know who next? Because JMO's gonna lose it. But let's move on to the next question. Matt Patricia kicked it up a notch at the end of a team goal line period when he allowed a couple live reps earlier today. Just a fun aside from that, the defense won the first rep with Jared Davis making a tackle before the running back could cross the goal line. But new running back Jonathan Williams, coming over from the Indianapolis Colts, plowed his way into the end zone on the second rep for the offense. What do you guys think of the addition of Williams? Let's start with you, Andrew.
I personally like it in the sense of they really want to shore up our running back position. You know, if Johnson goes down, you still want a 1-2 punch. Williams was very, very efficient in Indianapolis. You know, Mac went down. The guy was phenomenal. He was phenomenal. He had good breakaway speed. He had really good vision. He's able to catch the ball. I love it in that sense. But it really pisses me the hell off that they brought in a running back to even begin with, because you just drafted 2 running backs. You still have Carry-On and you have Bo Scarborough. So I like it because I think he can definitely win a spot. but it does drive me a little mad because you already just freaking drafted 2 running backs that you expect to be heavily involved in the offense.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm going to just go ahead second there because I don't personally think that we were feeling a need by any means with this signing, but I have heard some good things. I'm personally on the fence. I like that he put together back-to-back 100-yard rushing games when playing in a starting role for the Colts last season, but let's not forget that that was from behind the Colts O-line, which clearly looks a bit different than our own. And I mean, especially if we're talking last season, I do like the fact that he's a bruiser style back, kind of like Scarborough. I mean, Scarborough was a breath of fresh air for me last season. We tend to, I mean, at least in recent history, pick these shifty, smaller backs. But I mean, I don't know if I have enough info here just yet. I'll have to see what other news kind of comes out of training camp to form more of opinion. I'm on the fence. You know, I see him as a running back that did well behind the Colts O-line. Well, I mean, yeah, a lot of running backs are going to do good behind that O-line. What do you think, Luke?
Rachel, real quick, sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
So yes, he was behind the Colts O-line, but the dude averaged 2.7 yards after contact. So even once he actually was getting hit, he was still able to get those couple yards after, which was great to see because it shows me that it wasn't just the O-line that was getting him that yardage.
I mean, and I definitely feel you on that, which is why I added the second thing, you know, like it's refreshing that they were looking at another bruiser style running back because that's kind of moving away from these shifty smaller guys that they picked. And for me, it was awesome to watch Scarborough last season just barrel through, you know?
100%.
What do you think, Luke?
6.5. Okay, 6.5. That's the number of running backs we got. What's the 0.5? Jamal Agnew. That's where we at. Okay, this man ain't making a team. He's there to make sure that the other people don't get banged up. Let me get him all his reps so I can keep doing some maintenance days with my players. He ain't making a team. I would be shocked if Jonathan Williams make this team. DeAndre Swift, he on his team. Jason Huntley, he'll probably make this team. Kerryon, you know he on his team. Bo, they ain't finna let Bo go nowhere. He the best power back we got. Then Ty. Well, Ty we gonna pray about. Okay? But damn. but to me, I was more impressed with the idea that Jared Davis' ability to make those stops because that's what I see a lot of. That a lot of people hate Jared Davis, but Jared Davis make plays. And the reality is this, that 9 times out of 10, they're not carrying 6 running backs with 2 fullbacks on the roster right now. They're not carrying 6 of those guys in there. They'll carry 4 tight ends because Isaac Nada can play fullback. So I think Nick Barton, yeah, his time is up. The other guy, Sellers, his time is up. But 6 running backs, and you think he can make this team? No. There's no way he gets on this roster. With no preseason game, just him beating up on people in practice? Nah. I don't see much happening in that regard. I'm happy to see that he's willing to give them a little contact so they can get used to getting hit again. But overall, Jonathan Williams ain't making this team. He's not a breath of fresh air. He's a leaf blowing off a tree in autumn. That's what he is. I don't see him sticking to the team at all. And I expect for them to stick with their battering ram and Bo. That's just my view.
And I won't be upset with that. I really like Bo. We'll see, what he's got in store for us next season. Maybe I'll be looking for his jersey or something. What do you think, J-Mo?
Wow, you kind of stuck that in at the end. I mean, I hope he has a season like that if you get in his jersey.
Hey, if he has a season anything like how he finished last season, I'm on board.
I literally have the same thoughts, J-Mo.
Yeah, I was like,
damn, a jersey.
Threw that in there, like she said.
You guys, I'm running out of players. I'm running out of players. Okay,
hey, buy
I got a lot of
jersey.
jerseys.
Buy me a jersey.
I'm about to say. I'm more upset, and I told you guys this in the chat. I'm more upset that we're not bringing in linebackers than D linemen, and we're bringing in running backs, and then we hear about what just happened to Jason Cornell, a D tackle that maybe could have been on the bubble, maybe could have been a depth guy, maybe. But when it comes to him, I don't think he's making the team at all. To me, I really don't care about this at all because I don't think he's making the team. And we got Bo, Jason. We got way too many running backs. I'm more with Andrew. Why are you bringing in another damn running back? And that's why it has to be. It has to be something. Yeah, I was about to say it has to be something for like reps or that. But I think he is a good running back, and I think if Scarborough has a lot of injury problems, if something happens to him, he can lose his spot to Williams or whatever his name is. But I don't think he's making this team, and the Lions just brought him in. Just more guys for depth.
Yeah, he's allowing people to get maintenance time. Now, I made the argument that the Lions should go and get Darius Geis a shot. And when we talked in the past, because I was like, how much is he going to really cost everybody? Nothing, nada, zip.
Just Patricia and Quinn's peace of mind, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, they got checker passes too. If we gonna play that game, I mean, they didn't have no problem. They didn't have no problem with other people. I'm just saying.
I hear you. What? I think OMG. Have you given your answer to this yet?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay, go for it.
I'm excited about it. I don't know about y'all, but this shows me that no running back is all the way safe. Ty Johnson should be real nervous right now, okay? Ty Johnson should be nervous. And I know everybody, and including me, has Bo Scarborough as a shoe-in, but you being a third running back is not a shoe-in position. So everybody's on alert right now. Only person that really I think is safe are Johnson, Kerryon Johnson, DeAndre Swift, and Huntley. Everybody else got to be on alert. And I just like that, man, because when you solidify the run game, it makes your defense better. It makes it so now you are time of possession. You can control what that offensive coordinator wants to do. You can limit him on the stuff that he can do. You're getting in the quarterback's head on the other team. I like it, man. I mean, you got to think about it this way. Okay, the Dallas Cowboys in 2016 was 13-3 with a rookie quarterback and a no-name defense. Byron Jones was only a second-year player. He's the only real name on that defense. Okay, so when you get that running game going, I know everybody this year was like, we need defense. It's that running game. I'm telling you, that running game helps everything else. That running game makes it so if something happens to Matt Stafford, which I hope nothing does, but say he needs a few maintenance games, 2 games, it's more controllable when you have 3 or 4 very good running backs. So I like the fact that he has been added to the mix because nobody's job is safe. You can't get content with your position. You can't be relaxed. You gotta be on the lookout because you might be on the street tomorrow.
Well, DeAndre Swift's job is safe. Kerryon's job is safe. Yeah. I like to say Jason Huntley's job is probably safe.
I agree.
But don't you want to have the one guy on the roster? I want to have at least one running back on the roster that can run through a grown man, doesn't have to run around him.
100%.
Right. Yeah.
We run up the middle literally like 90% of the time. So why not
you talk about our dive play? Them dive plays are godsend. Don't you do that?
Right, but I don't know if y'all watched any highlights. That man can run through some tackles. I don't know if y'all looked at his highlights and looked at the plays. He runs through tackles. So
I'm not problem with that argument though. When people say, if y'all look at his highlights, they're highlights. They're meant to highlight the best things he did. You gotta watch the whole film and see what happens when he can't run through the tackles. Is he able to create his own run? Is he able to get in and out of his cuts and create space and make the first person miss?
He's created lanes. I mean, he's created lanes and he sets up his blockers. He's good. I'm not saying that he necessarily means that Bo Scarborough's out because I personally like Bo. But I'm just saying it puts him on notice that you better be on your A game or you can be on the street just like you was in Dallas.
Okay, listen. You ain't got to be so angry about it. I'm with you, okay? You ain't got to be so
My bad, Luke. My bad.
I'm with you. Damn, got me scared, man.
Well, we don't want anybody scared, but let's go ahead. You guys in the chat, if you have any questions for the panel, please throw them in there now. We've got a couple good ones from Dat Dude Live that I'm going to go ahead and throw out for you guys. First being DSA, what is the surprise player making the roster in 2020? What do you think, JMO? Oh, you know what? I think JMO said he was going to be right back, so that's my bad. Let's start us off, Andrew.
Man, I think so. Like surprise player, obviously they're supposed to be on the bubble or something along the lines of that. And to me, I think Penasini can definitely be that player. I mean, he graded super high. I think it was in terms of, it was either run defense or pass defense. He was literally like top 10 in college. So I think he could be our surprise player, you know, especially with Carnell just going down. I think they're going to want to shore up that D-line.
Okay, that's a good answer. What do you think, Luke?
Hunter Bryan.
Ooh,
You know, when the reports came out that he got his butt worked over and gave up a sack against Julian Okor, I was like, good. He's not a blocker any damn way. He's short for a reason. And then they said he torched a few different linebackers and people on passes. Yep, that's what he's here for, to create more confusion and complexity. So I think that's what he's brought here for. I think he'll be the guy to make it that be a surprise. And I'll give you one last wild card because I can't even believe it. I'm going to say this my damn self, even though I think that he's probably going to get the boot, even though I think he's probably going to get the boot. I honestly think that, you know, that maybe they was right earlier that we are going to keep 6 receivers. And I can see, you know, them saying, okay, a guy like Marvin Hall, who might be looking on the out, making that team and still being part of the 6. So those would be my 2.
Thank you, Luke. That was my guy. now I got to think of something else.
Hey, great minds think alike. My bad, bro.
Honestly, I have to hop on you there too, because Marvin Hall was kind of the first player that popped into my head. I'm not so sure as JMO was earlier about like, I'm not so sure they're going to keep 6 wide receivers. I'm pretty sure they're just going to keep the 5.
No, I didn't say
but when I go,
6.
or somebody said earlier that they thought they'd keep 6.
It was
okay, I knew somebody said that. I'm not so sure about that. And to be completely honest, I don't even want to start thinking in this moment about breaking down who the 5 would be. But I'm with you, Luke, on Marvin Hall because his deep play ability, I mean, it's not like we use him super frequently, but it seems like when we do, it's for 70 yards. I mean, and there's something to be said for somebody that has enough, and he's one of the only receivers. I mean, you know, you got Marvin Jones and you've got Kenny Golladay, great contested catch receivers. Marvin Hall makes these plays because he's got the separation. So, you know, as we're talking about that earlier, I'm like, well, I don't want to see him go. Maybe, but you know, so that's who it is for me too. What do you think, JMO?
The surprise player making the roster. I don't know. I might have to go with somebody off the wall who I really don't like. But I'm gonna go with Ode Obushi. I think as much as I won't mention that other guy. I never will. But I think as horrible as it is, I think he finds a way to make it on the roster.
Okay. All right. OMG, you haven't answered this. Well, who do you think is the surprise player making this roster?
Don't kill me. The surprise is just because how y'all reacted. My surprise is Christian Jones. I think that Christian Jones.
But nobody would be surprised.
Don't kill me. But I think Christian Jones is going to make the roster, and I think Christian Jones is actually going to be a healthy contributor. Okay, I'm going to take it a step further. A healthy contributor. See, exactly. That's why it's a surprise.
I think he's going to be a healthy.
He's going to be a healthy contributor to this team. He's going to be more effective. He's going to be more effective. As long as he's not playing linebacker. And he got to do something in space, in open space. As long as he's close to the line of scrimmage, he can play that DN type of role. I think Christian Jones will be a better player. I think he'll be a better factor and this defense, man. So Christian Jones is that's who I'm going with. Thank you.
Okay. Did
I
everybody
just
get
hope
to
everything you said was true. That's all I can say.
Did everybody get to answer this question?
Yeah, we got to. I don't know if all of us can stomach it, but we made it.
Okay. I'm going to move on next to a question from one of our fellow DSA members. Thanks for hanging out with us, PD. PD Sports says, "Are the Lions an underrated franchise?"
Hey,
PD, why?
let me answer this.
Why PD?
Look, the Lions are an underrated franchise the last 10 years. Other than that, no. Sorry.
Okay. What do you think, Andrew?
Dude, no. I'm so I love my Lions. I literally will argue with anybody, but they're not underrated. And to be underrated, you have to have success. And yeah, we had success for a couple of years, but we literally fired our head coach because it was those wimpy wins. You know, we weren't able to defeat playoff caliber teams, so I might have to go with a hard no.
Okay. What do you think, OMG?
No, we rated right where we supposed to be at. We the fourth or fifth losingest franchise in all four major sports. So no, we don't deserve no props at all. Like we don't like even though we fans and we think the highest of our team and our players, and we always try to make a way in our minds for them to win. But no, man, like you guys, like the Cleveland Browns is the only other team worse than us in the millennium. So, there it is.
I hear you. I hear you. All right, Luke, what are your thoughts on this? Are the Lions an underrated franchise?
In the words of Dennis Green, they are who we thought they were. And we not letting them off the hook. We not letting them off the hook. We just can't. And to me, to say that we're underrated would imply that we were doing something that would make us be rated. Like, no, this is an absolute no. We're not underrated. We may not be fully appreciated. We may be underestimated at times, but underrated? No, hell no. Nobody's saying that.
So I'm going to answer this from a little bit different of a standpoint because this is what immediately struck me. When I think about the Lions as a franchise, I think they're rated right where they're supposed to be. I'm on board with OMG and the rest of you guys and that. But what I do think is often underrated because of that stigma on the franchise is the level of talent of their players. Because I mean, I'm bringing this up for a third time on a roundtable. Just like people are like, what is up with Kenny Galladay's Madden rating? I said that they have to rate him under his overall talent because it has to fit with the overall rating of the team. And therefore, what I do think is underrated about the Lions probably year in and year out, except for those years that we were actually making those playoffs appearances and had some wins under our belts, is the talent of some of the players on the Lions roster.
I mean, damn, Rachel, you got me feeling bad about my decisions now.
I'm with Rachel because, unless these guys, and I mean, you see around the NFL, Stafford had plenty of respect. We've seen him on top 10 lists, but unless it's a guy like a Sue or Calvin or Barry, who in their own respects, obviously, all were just athletic freaks that were just so great. Their talent transcended any football team. But if it's not a guy like those three, we'll never get any credit no matter what. I don't know what Calvin Johnson's Madden rating were back in the day from memory, but I'm sure he wasn't getting disrespected like this. And we know Sue is Sue and Barry Sanders. I mean, it's people that still say he's the greatest running back ever, and they're not fans of the Lions. So, they say he's in the conversation for greatest football players ever. So, but if it's not those three guys, we're not going to get no love.
I mean, yeah. Right. So PD follows up that question. He says 4 championships, 16 primary Hall of Famers. We rank in the top 12 in terms of winning championships, 5 all-time team members. Enough said. And I hear you. I hear you on that, PD. I think, though, that trying to win that argument with anybody else in regards to recent history would be hard.
Right. Because them 4 championships ain't Super Bowls. I don't know what that was called before this, but they ain't Super Bowl championships. I can tell you that much.
I don't know what they was called before this, but they ain't Super Bowl championship.
No, it was the
was in the leather helmet
the
days.
NFL champion, man.
Yeah.
That's when
And
they
I have
had
to-
leather helmets.
I have to laugh at this too because this is my fiance. He says, "Don't worry, y'all. Rachel's a master of making dudes go, well, damn. I never thought about it that way. Welcome to his life."
Yeah. I had to think about it. I'm like, yeah, that's a good point you made there. I'll backpedal a little bit, just just a little bit.
No, it's a great point.
All right. I think we have another good question here from the great one, Mike. And I think this will wrap it up after this because we've been going almost 2 hours strong. He says, how many points do you think the Lions will average this season? Start us off, OMG.
I say 27.
Okay.
I think 27 is what we'll do, is because I think you could easily say like in the 30s, but I think we're going to go with more of a West Coast system, more of a ground and pound, get bigger windows for Stafford so he don't have to rocket everything in there, and slow the game down, play the clock. I think it's going to slow it down. I just think more like 26, 27 points a game is going to be about where we're at. Even though it seems like that's a little bit low, but when you think about how much we're going to do in that run game and the defense, I just see it not needed as much high points. So, yeah.
Okay. So what do you think, Andrew? How many points are we going to average this coming year per game?
Hey, man, if we're averaging 27 points a game, shit, I expect us to be in the double-digit win category. I think we'll be around 25. I don't know. It's really hard to average upper 20s, around 30 points. Those are usually the top 3 offenses in the league. And I think we have the skill, but we also have a little bit of a tougher schedule. So I think that's going to make it a little bit harder certain weeks.
Yeah, you almost hit my prediction on the head. I was going to say 24. We're never really a low scoring offense by any means, but you're right. We really got to be up there to be hitting those higher numbers near 30. What do you think, Luke?
I'm thinking like 27, 28. I feel like that should be the standard. Like 28 points. I'm just glad they didn't ask us what do I think the defense is going to hold teams to, because then that's a different story. But in terms of the offense, about 27, 28 points.
Yeah, and I thought about that too. I'm like, well, it depends on how many points the defense is giving up and how hard how hard they really have to try to come back. I mean, you know that Matt Stafford can put 30 on the board from behind for sure. But what do you think, J-Mo?
Well, I think in a little bit of reverse of that, I think that's why we are going to be scoring a lot of points, because regardless of what the defense do, we're going to be scoring points. And I think we scored around 24 or 25 last year, and that was with like only a running game for like one game in like the first 4 games. And so I think we're scoring 27. Now, OMG, I don't think you were being like pessimistic. Like Andrew said, 27 points a game, you're probably a top 5 offense. Like maybe the Chiefs got people confused, but scoring 30 points a game is not normal. Like it's not, the Chiefs and the Saints got people confused. That's not normal. I think the top scoring offense was somewhere around 30 points. So, and when the Rams did it, they were only like at like 33, not only at, but they're like at 33, but I think we're scoring 27 points a game because I think that our offense is going to be better than last season. And 27 is more than enough for us to win a lot of games.
Absolutely. People in the chat are throwing out numbers. Dat Dude Live says 30. D-Hype 28.6. That's very specific. I like that. J Stone says 28.
That's very specific.
Hey, can I say something though? If we average 30 points a game, I'm telling y'all right now, Stafford in that MVP combo, because like that'd be crazy. I don't know his highest point total. Maybe we did 30 one time, but like we averaging 30 points a game. Like, fam, I don't care. I mean, I know our defense can be bad, but at a point, your defense can't keep you out of that many games, So we averaging 30 points a game. Like, wow.
Yeah. D-Hype says 0.6 matters. I agree. It does. But on that note, we're going to go ahead and move to our final thoughts. We've been going strong for 2 hours. I'll just go ahead and kick it off because I just want to say everybody in the chat was absolutely fantastic tonight. I thought we had great questions and great answers by everybody on the panel. I always appreciate when we have some really good content to talk about, and you guys get so detailed, and you guys are just awesome to talk football with. So don't forget to subscribe to everybody in the DSA's channels. Make sure you hit the notification bells to see when they're coming out with some new stuff. Definitely check out DetroitSportsAlliance.com. Got some really cool stuff going on over there. And as always, one pride, you guys. Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we appreciate you guys, especially commenting, posting questions. I had a lot of fun today. I always like when we can interact, post our answers to the questions. It makes it really interesting. It makes for a good conversation. And sometimes it's nice just to have some pushback, because you don't want people just agreeing with you. You want them to challenge you, and that's what creates good content. But just hop over to my page, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. We're going to start coming out with some fantasy stuff here very soon, especially because fantasy is going to start ramping up. But thanks for having me on, Rachel. I had a lot of fun.
Absolutely. It was so much fun. What do you got for us, JMO?
What's good, everybody? As y'all know, I'm on the road to 1,000, so make sure you guys subscribe. And we will be having a live show for Above the Rim on Thursday, so it won't be a round table. So you guys gonna want to come to my channels because we gonna have a show, a draft. The draft lottery is happening, so we get the number 1 overall pick this basketball. So it could change our life, but when we get screwed over as usual, get like the 9th pick, then we can all cry about it. But besides that, I do want to say something about this because I know I say this every time, but I'm actually getting real concerned now because Kenny Galladay, it's been reported that he said, I want my money and I need it now. It's my money and I need it now. Kenny Galladay said, I want to be paid before the season starts, Bob Quinn. And I'm very scared that if we don't pay him before the season starts, 1, he's gonna tax us after he balls out, and 2, he's out of here. He like, bro, I'm just gonna leave because, like, I wasn't really concerned until he came out and said from his agent or whatever, like, yo, he want to be paid right now. I'm scared, so pay Kenny Galladay before I lose my damn mind. I'm sounding upset because I am now. Galladay, feel like Galladay getting upset.
You guys heard him. Make sure you're on his channel on Thursday night as well. And I hope somebody from the Lions is listening. OMG, what are your closing thoughts?
Okay. Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
Tyrone Crawford, Terrell McClain, Malik Collins, Jack Crawford, Anthony Hitchens, Sean Lee, Brandon Carr, Morris Claiborne, Barry Church, Byron Jones, and Orlando Scandrick. And I know y'all probably like, what the hell did he just name all them players for?
Cowboys.
Because that was the names of the 5th ranked defense in all the NFL. Okay? That combined for 17 sacks. And why do I say that? Because the running game is the most important part of football. Okay? The running game controls everything. So when you see the Lions bringing in another running back like Jonathan Williams, be happy, people. Be happy because they are committed to running the ball. And that run game allowed a rookie 4th-round quarterback and a no-name defense to go 13-3. With that being said, subscribe to OMG's Lions Talk. I'm your boy, Mike Jones. Peace.
I'm glad you threw that in there, JMO. All right, Luke, take us out.
All right, good people. Thank y'all for coming in here. Thank you, Rachel, for hosting it. You were awesome today, per always. Today's positive quote. I wasn't going to go here, but I love the fact that they're going to do a remake of this movie. And today's positive quote comes from Bill and Ted, Excellence Adventure. That's right. The Time Traveling Idiots. It's funny, people, because this quote is so clear for me. And they happen to stumble upon the devil, and they ask him, wow, we're in hell. And the devil response to them was, well, yeah, you didn't do anything good. And their response to him is, we made you smile. People, it's that simple. It's so small, so minute. Simply do something to make somebody smile. Not saying if you don't, you're going to go to hell, but I'm saying that one small moment can be enough to change a person's perspective and view on that day. Maybe somebody has it worse than you. Maybe somebody's going through something, dealing with loss, or loss of a job, loss of a loved one, loss of a friend, a pet, or something. We don't know what they're going through in these times today, but something as simple as a smile, which I know can be hard with these masks on, but the one thing the mask can't hide is those cheekbones. Let's make sure that we are being kind to each other, that we are being respectful to each other, and that we are just doing the most important, small, minute thing you can do. Smile. Because everything else just isn't that important. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you subscribe to all the members of the DSA. Hit that like button on your way out. And as always, don't be no chump. Please do your research.